For them, the whole world is a foreign country, but at the same time, it is their home. The life of foreigners who live and work in Kazakhstan. Their experiences and their insights in a travelogue of a guest. Tune Radio Astana every Saturday at 3:20 p.m.
Hey, my name is Sufyan and I was born in India. I spent most of my childhood and growing up period in India. Then I moved out and started traveling the world. I've been living in Bahrain for a couple of years, and I'll spend time in other countries such as Georgia, Azerbaijan. I'm a writer by profession primarily. I've written 6 books so far. So I was commissioned to write a travelogue, a book about Central Asia, all the Stan countries, and I decided to spend some time in every Central Asian country. So I was in Uzbekistan and the other places. Then I finally got to Kazakhstan as part of my book. And to be honest, I didn't really know a lot about Kazakhstan other than what I had read from internet articles, what I had read from other travelogues, YouTube videos. So, people used to tell me about the horses, the nomadic lifestyle, cities like Almaty, Astana. And unlike any other tourist who generally comes first to Almaty, I came to Astana first, Nur Sultan, and I was here in April, and the weather was colder than expected. So, as part of my book's activities, I started exploring the country. I got to know about the AIFC, Astana International Financial Center, and it made me curious. I didn't really expect a project like AIFC here in Central Asia. So I inquired about incorporating and business at AIFC and everything else. I've been running this IT company in Bahrain called Paracosm, where we build software for educational bodies, medical software, fintech applications, games. So I decided to set up a version of it here, not a branch but a separate company. So that's how Paracosm was incorporated at AIFC. And I've been running this since June. So it's not been a long time, but I've been living in Nur Sultan since then, and I also managed to visit Almaty. I really like my time here, so broadly I came here as just an explorer trying to do some research work about my book, my travelogue, look at the society of Kazakhstan, look at the historical aspects of it. But when I got here, I got to know about different things, and I was really amazed, should I say, surprised by the rate at which Nur Sultan is growing, the city, and all the unique things it has to offer. I mean, quite frankly, when I had read about Expo and other things, I didn't expect it to be of the scale that I saw here. So I decided to stick around here, call Kazakhstan my home for a while. And so I've been living here since then, and I've been managing my business from here. I've been trying to port more and more of our work from Bahrain and India here. So the summers were pretty good. The winters are a little challenging now. I mean, I've lived in Bahrain, which is an island, so I'm not used to such weather. But it's a very interesting thing to be in Kazakhstan. The language is a barrier. Not many people speak English here, and I don't know any Russian or Kazakh. So, of course, interacting with the locals is a big challenge. This kind of limits my ability to explore the country at large. But the people in general are friendly. If they manage to speak your language, they are happy to work with you, happy to help you. And life in general in Kazakhstan is way different from what you would expect in the outer world. Way more interesting. And broadly speaking, like I said, I came as just a traveler to explore, but now I've settled here, and I've been living here for many months. And I plan on living here for many more months going forward. In fact, I had to even realign my book to focus more on Kazakhstan and less on the other places, which was not in the initial strategy, because now I'm spending more and more time here. This has made people curious too. Many of my friends ask me, what are you doing in Kazakhstan? And I'm like, I don't know, just visit and find out. So my mom is also very curious. She's kind of suspecting that I've fallen in love with a girl in Kazakhstan apparently, and I've gotten married or something. So that's one thing. But beyond that, yes, I mean, I really enjoy living in Kazakhstan, especially in Nur Sultan. First things first, there's very little traffic here in the city compared to other places like Bahrain or Dubai. So this is the biggest advantage. In terms of my work here, I'm the director of Paracosm, which is an AIFC Participant company. It's an IT company, so we work in IT solutions, mostly in the field of financial technology as well as educational technology. We develop software that can be used in schools and colleges. We've already had all of this in Bahrain, and we've already had a very successful portfolio of games as well as infotainment and entertainment solutions. So now we're trying to localize that in Kazakh and Russian. On the side, since I'm a writer and educator, so wherever I live, I try to my best to teach and help people. So I've taught in schools and colleges and institutions in India, even in the Middle East, and I'm teaching at Kazakh University here, computer science. And on weekends, I teach English at some of the learning centers in the right bank of the city. So yeah, I spend my time really wisely. My day begins at 7:30 in the morning and ends at 9:30. So through and through, I'm occupied with something or the other, be it teaching, be it writing, be it managing the company. Broadly, that's pretty much it. That's what I do in Kazakhstan. To be in the CIS market, especially in Central Asia or even the entire CIS market, AIFC is rather a very wise choice, especially because you do not have to worry about a lot of taxation issues that you might if you were elsewhere. Then most of the law and documentation is based in English, most of it, so it's kind of easier for people like me who do not speak Russian or Kazakh and who want to have a presence here. And then more importantly, in terms of residence, they were happy to offer me a 5-year visa. So it kind of allowed me to settle down here more swiftly and efficiently than run around for work permits and other things. So yes, these were the many factors why I chose to be here. Once I had incorporated this company and I was here, I saw that there is some potential if we do things right. Broadly speaking, that is why we've been based out of AIFC. Well, potential for growth. To tell you the truth, the regional market here is very, very different from what I'm used to in the Middle East. In the Middle East, there are too many big private clients that you can get. Here regionally, it's a very cutthroat market. People want to get absolute value for money. And if you are in a place like AIFC, you can scale up and down whenever you want to. We're operating from a small office with a small team, and I'm getting remote workers or remote experts to work on separate projects. But I also know that if things grow in size, I can easily scale upwards. It's not a big problem to scale your company. So scalability, especially for an IT company, a technical company, is very, very important. You cannot just do things the orthodox way. So that is another aspect why I chose AIFC. My publisher is probably not gonna be happy if I give too many details, but I'm done with the Azerbaijan and the Western countries, which was a short section. I'm also done with the Tashkent and Uzbekistan broadly. So I'm in the mid part of my book. Most of the mid part covers Kazakhstan at large. Then would probably move eastwards, perhaps after the winter, since it's like a 2-year project, an 18 to 20 month project. So then would go to Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. So currently I'm around the 6th chapter, which is roughly the central point of the book, the mid part. So it deals with the socio-historical aspects, more like the history and culture of Kazakh people, and how the Kazakh Khanate grew in power, and how the legacy and the cultural impact of Kazakhstan still lives on, and how the culture of Kazakhstan was affected by its neighbors, and how Kazakhstan developed a cultural identity of its own. In fact, it's nothing like political or economic as such. There's nothing in that. It's more of a one-man's travelogue for solo travelers. If you are in the Central Asian region, what should you look for in terms of history and socio-cultural value? Because there's a lot of literature available in terms of natural landscapes. There's a lot of literature available in terms of finance and economics and political landscape, but there isn't a lot of literature in the English language available related to socio-cultural or historical aspect. So that's what my publishers wanted me to focus heavily on, that the English-speaking readers, when they want to learn about the history or society of Central Asia, they don't really get any access as such other than, the political impact and this war and this occupation and all of that. So broadly speaking, this is what I'm trying to bring out, the more cultural legacy of Kazakh people. In the past, I'm a student of history, so I've been studying about all the Kazakh Khanates and the Central Asian empires and kingdoms and Khanates for quite a while. In fact, my grandfather had a big collection of books about the Central Asian history. So it wasn't anything totally new or strange to me. I knew about Kazakh Khanate and leaders like Qasim Khan and Kenasari Khan, Ablai Khan. So it wasn't anything alien for me. But yeah, when I got here, I was really surprised, or should I say I wasn't expecting such a kind of impact to still linger on. Like Kazakh people, in spite of all this recent history and the hundreds and 200s of years, past 200s of years, many regions of Kazakhstan have managed to hold on to their Kazakh identity at large. Like you would see, in the northern parts and all, more and more people are slightly not fully aware of their own legacy. But if you explore deeper, you would see that a lot of Kazakh people, they are still in touch with their roots. They are still in sync with their roots. So that is one thing that really came to me as a surprise, because centuries of occupation often delete the cultural, or should I say historical aspects of certain nations, but this has not happened thankfully in Kazakhstan. So that is one thing that I would bring out probably. It's just 2.5 decades, 3 decades old. So as a young country, Kazakhstan is progressing fairly rapidly. That is also true. If you go back 3 decades, 30 years back, you would see there was nothing. But in a short span of time, Kazakhstan has built a lot. Kazakh people have built a lot. So yes, in the present scenario, progress is rapid, the growth is rapid, and everything in general, more and more people are now turning towards learning better Kazakh, writing better Kazakh, and more people are now turning towards doing actual good work in the field of technology especially. So yes, there are challenges. The biggest challenge that I personally feel is that a good number of talented Kazakhs tend to be out of the country. Like in my time in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, I've traveled almost the entire Middle East. I've lived there after all. So I used to come across many talented Kazakh developers, coders, programmers, designers. And where you're from? I'm from Kazakhstan, was the standard reply. And so I assume that yes, Kazakhstan has a good foray of developers in-house too. But when I got here, I noticed many coders or designers here, they tend to leave the country quickly. So this is a challenge. But of course, this is also will eventually be fixed as the new generations come along. They would want to stick around in their hometown and build good things here. So yes, there's rapid growth, and there's a real good technological progress today's times of the Kazakhstan of present. And as more and more young developers, and especially in the IT and finance sector, come up, as they start to stick around in the country and build bigger and better things, the future is really bright. That's what I'd say. Well, teaching is not really work life. I do it on the weekends that I take English classes. I love teaching, so frankly put, I teach at KASGU during weekdays. I teach English to young students from age group 7-8 years all the way up to 20-25. And it's generally often not paid teaching. I just do it for the sake of it. That's one thing. Writing is also a big stress buster. Then I like music, reading, things like that. I might want to tell you, I live alone, so managing a flat or an apartment and all is not often an easy task for me. I live full-time in a hotel. So I don't really have to worry about housekeeping and all of that. So I spend my time with catching up on news, doing some reading, some casual music. Now I'm planning to pick up learning Kazakh soon. So yes, there's that. I'm just thinking, should I go for a traditional route, get a teacher and take classes, or should I just do it myself like I did it with some of the other languages? Maybe install an application or something. Maybe I can have my company build an application for learning Kazakh. Well, at Paracosm, all my staff is Kazakh. Even the remote workers or freelancers that we hire are Kazakhs. So you can call them, yes, I do know Kazakh people. My students here are Kazakhs, and some of my students are very friendly, always happy to offer advice. If there's an event in the city, they are very eager to recommend it to me. If there's a movie which is being screened in English, they are very eager to recommend it to me. So yes, I have Kazakh friends here. In short span, I've made many friends. When we talk, the discussion goes like, how do you like Astana? I'm like, oh, I love the city. And they're like, wait till you see our winter. And I'm like, bring it on, challenge accepted. So yes, we do have quite a good deal of interactions. I've tried Besh Barmak. And I loved it, yeah. And I also have taken expeditions to Almaty and the mountains and everything. So it was also fun because I had never been to mountains before that. So, well, so far, so good. Life is, I'm enjoying my time here if that's what you're asking. And I'm looking forward to staying here. Experience the snowfall in minus 40 degrees. I'm looking forward to that too. And let's see if I change my mind after that, if the weather scares me or not. But I'm hopeful of sticking around here. Well, all I'll say is, if you're in Kazakhstan, enjoy your time while you're here. It's as beautiful a place on earth as any. So by all means. My name is Sufyan, and thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. Rahmet.
For them, the whole world is a foreign country, but at the same time, it is their home. The life of foreigners who live and work in Kazakhstan. Their experiences and their insights in a travelogue of a guest. Tune Radio Астана every Saturday at 3:20 p.m.